Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to face the east and give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. I'd like to give double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Excuse me for a second. Alright, so this afternoon's lesson is going to be entitled Affliction. And we're constantly going through it. You know, there's no rest here. We endure affliction because our oppressors, the heathen nations, and ultimately Esau, Edom, are over us. So on a daily basis, they do whatever they can to keep us down, setting snares, traps, you know, unfair wages, unfair just in everything, you know. So we're gonna get the book of Psalms. It's gonna be Psalms chapter 34, verse 19. Psalms 34 and 19. And it says, actually I'm gonna start at verse 17. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and deliver them out of all their troubles. 18. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such be as of a contrite spirit. The broken-hearted, a contrite spirit. A contrite means afflicted, okay? And our spirits are being afflicted on a daily basis. What we have to go through in our own individual lives. I mean, all of us brothers, sincere believers, you know, the Akim or Akbal, we're all going through something. And much more, according to our lot, individual lots. 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. So many afflictions, torments, adversity, you know, things that, you know, give us vexation of spirit. You know, just the fact that, just like how Lot was in the midst of Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, vexed with filthy conversation. All the things that the people do here, it bothers us. This whole America itself and the people here. There is no righteousness in this place. None. This is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 107. Starting at verse 1. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Verse 2. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemies. Okay. Verse 3. And gather them out of the lands from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south. Okay. The believers, the elect, and the multitude. No. We're all waking up from all around the world. Israelites are waking up every day to who they are. The elect and the two-thirds, they're all waking up. They're all realizing we've been duped this whole time. Verse 4. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell in. Completely homeless and lost in the wilderness, but under the guidance of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 5. Hungry and thirsty, their soul fainted in them. 6. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble and said, and he delivered them out of their trouble. Verse 7. And he led them forth by the right way, that they might go to a city of habitation. The city that was, at the time, occupied by the Canaanites, the Jebusites, the Perizzites, and the Hittites. We got them up out of there, and that became our home. Excuse me. In verse 8, oh that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. Verse 9, for he satisfieth the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. Verse 10, such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death. Okay? In darkness, that obscurity, being blind, not knowing what's going on. Like the old saying goes, ignorance is bliss. In the shadow of death, talking about a place of death. This place is death. America, aka Babylon. Being bound in affliction and iron. Oppression. Was the one group of people in this world that fill up the prison systems, poorest living conditions, and worst education, just the lowest of the low living. That would be us, the Israelites. It says, verse 7, because they rebelled against the words of the Most High, and contemned the counsel of the Most High. Therefore he brought down their heart with labor. So he punished us with hard labor and captivity. So verse 12, starting over. Therefore he brought down their heart with labor. They fell down and there was none to help. So we went through some hard labor and there was no one there to help us. We just suffered. Verse 13. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them out of their distress. He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and brake their bands asunder. The spiritual, breaking those bands asunder. In a spiritual sense, talking about, the enslavement of our mind. Because we had no idea who we were. We were just mindless and ignorant to everything around us. We were just walking as the dead. Until Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, started waking up his men. 14. 15. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. Verse 16, for he hath broken the gates of brass and cut the bars of iron in asunder. That's that prison again. In verse 17, fools, because of their transgression and because of their iniquities, are afflicted. Because of our iniquity, our rebellion against him, this is what happened. Hardcore bondage, serving under our enemies. This is what we deserve. This is what we get because we didn't listen in the first place. Okay, so that was that on that. Now I'm gonna go to. This is gonna be the same book. Actually, I'm gonna keep going. This is verse 18. Their soul Psalms 107, verse 18. Their soul abhorreth all manner of meat, and they draw near to the gates of death. The gates of death. So that'll be here. Okay. Excuse me. So abhorreth all manner of meat. You know, of all the, you know, the ways of this life. You know, talking about that type of meat. There's the philosophies, the idolatry, the adultery, just just the abominable conduct of this place. Verse 19, then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble. He saveth them out of their distress. 20, he sent his word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. So every time we got in trouble and when we couldn't do anything about it, who do we have to rely on? We have to rely on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to save us from our afflictions, man. Let's see. Okay, now going to Psalms 119, verse 92. And it says, unless thy law had been my delights, I should then have perished in mine affliction. So, if it wasn't for the law, statutes, and commandments, the light, the truth, yeah, we would have been long gone. Now when I get, excuse me, 2 Corinthians, no, excuse me, I meant Isaiah, Isaiah, wrong book there, Isaiah chapter 48. Isaiah chapter 48, starting at verse 9. And it says, for my name's sake will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I shall cut thee not off. Talking about Israel. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is just very upset with us, but he still loves us, that he's not going to cut us off. So that right there tells you just how much love Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has for his nation. Verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. Verse 11. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? I will not give my glory unto another. Okay? So for his own sake, he will save us, because Israel, his nation, we represent him. So he's not going to let his reputation be defiled anymore, so he's going to save his people. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai wants to protect his name. And that includes us, who we represent. We represent him. Verse 12. And he will not share his glory with idols. Verse 12, and it says, heart. Actually, no, that was good. That was that. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians chapter 4. Start at verse 8. Wait, let's see. Actually, I'm gonna start at verse 4. No, let's see. I'll start at verse 6 so I get 2 Corinthians 4 and 6. For the Most High, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Yahushua HaMashiach. Verse 7, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us. So, this book, we have in these earthen vessels and these feeble bodies, being in this flesh, that we have such a great treasure here that could, take us from the bottom back to the top, where we belong. And it says, and like I said before, Yahweh B'Shem El Shai is the one that woke us up to get this. Okay, he's given us the opportunity. Once again, out of all the people within your group of family, loved ones, friends, co-workers, and acquaintances, and whatever, out of all of them, he chose you. So think about that. He could have taken anyone else in your family to get it, but he chose you. Now, verse 8, it says, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Verse 9, persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Verse 10, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, that the life also of Yahweh Shai might be made manifest in our body. So just like Yahweh Shai, being vexed, troubled on every side, and perplexed, but not in despair. Just the fact that, being upset with everything that's going on in the world, yet this truth is what holds us together. He gives us that peace of mind, that comfort that we need when, things tend to get a little too, get to be a little too unbearable. So, we are to live like how Yahweh Shai did, going through it. All right. Now we're going to get... let's see, excuse me. I'm going to drop down to verse 15. And it says, for all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might, through the thanksgiving of many, way down to the glory of the Most High. Verse 16, for which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. So, day by day, we keep improving, we keep getting better, all for the sake of the Lord. Okay, that's why we are to become our best selves for the Lord, man. Got to make sure that we're ready, to be bid back unto the marriage of the bridegroom. The story of the 5 wise and 5 unwise, the 10 virgins. 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So, this what we're going through right now, it's all going to be worth it in the end, because we have something even greater to look forward to. So, cry now, laugh later. Instead of being like the 2/3 who do nothing but laugh now and they're eventually going to cry later. Yeah, let's see. Verse, this is going to be 2 Corinthians chapter 6, starting from the top. Verse 1, we then, as workers together with him, beseech you also that ye receiveth not the grace of the Most High in vain. Verse 2, for he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I succored thee. Behold, now is this accepted time, behold, now is the day of salvation. Verse 3, giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, but in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, in much patience and afflictions, in necessities, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in tumults, and labors, in watchings and fastings. Verse 6, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Spirit, by love unfeigned, by the word of truth, by the power of the Most High, by the armor of the righteousness, on the right hand and on the left, by honor and dishonor, by evil report and good report, as deceivers and yet true. Verse 9, as unknown and yet well known, as dying and behold, we live and chastened. We live as chastened and not killed, as sorrowful yet always rejoicing, as poor yet making many rich, as having nothing and yet possessing all things. So, like I said, through our everyday lives, man, we dedicate ourselves to this word, regardless of our situation. Even though we could be in a tough spot, we still have to minister unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That shows faith and dedication, and it shows that you trust in Him and you love Him, You know, and whether it be by honor or dishonor, a good report or a bad report. You know, people say talking shit about you, spreading rumors that aren't true, or by a good report, people who say, give you praise. You know, and there are going to be times when, people say something about you. At work, someone will say something about you to the boss to try and get you in trouble or worse, but then someone else will stand up and say something. That goes into, if a man's ways please the Lord, he'll make your enemies be at peace with thee. And also, we do this whether we are well known or unknown or not known at all. But like I said, it doesn't matter to us whether we're famous, whether we're known or well known or not known. So, as sorrowful as we are in having this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and knowing what it comes with, what it's going to cost, yet well known as dying, and behold, we live, because we're dead to this life, but in the spirit we live. As chastened, being disciplined and not dead. Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is correcting us day by day. Okay. Gonna be second Esdras. Second Esdras 8 and 27. Okay, so here it says, verse 26, actually, Second Esdras 8 and 26. Oh, look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. 27. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in affliction. So, by keeping their integrity in times of trouble, in times of, when things are just rough, vexing, So let's see. So again, envy not, regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, man. Okay, we're not worried about the 2/3. We're worried about those that are willing to, make the change. those that are sincere and willing to do better and want to, do something more productive and more positive with their time. This is going to be Sirach, chapter 11. In fact, I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, Sirach 11:25. In the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction. In the day of affliction there is no remembrance of prosperity. Okay, so during a time, when things are good, you forget about what you went through, the hardships you went through to get here. And then the same, and vice versa. When you're going through all that hell after losing everything, you forget about the good times because you're more worried about, okay, I got to deal with this, and now I got to find some way to turn this around. Okay, and in that time, there will be no remembrance of the good old days, those days of prosperity where things were so much easier, things were cheaper. Trust me, in Jacob's trouble, nobody is going to remember those things. It's just going to be all-out survival at that point. Do what you got to do to stay alive. This is going to be the book of actually, before I get the next scripture, I want to get another precept here. It's going to be Romans 15:4. And it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Okay? So even in the time of affliction, we're forgetting everything that we've been taught by this world. Okay? And having to relearn it all over again. Okay? While in the midst of afflictions, while in the midst of, the fact that the vibrations of this place is off, because this place is full of lies, deceit, false worship, pseudoscience. It's bad here. And we do our best not to get caught up in that mess like we were back in the world. This is going to be the book of Acts, chapter 14. 14 and 22. And it says, confirming the souls of confirm the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Okay, so this is a matter of we don't have a choice. This is something that we have to do. No matter how much it's going to hurt, no matter how uncertain or how scary it's going to be, man. That's why, we have to Philippians, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, okay, let me get it. Slovakia. Let's have to think about it for a second. Philippians 2. Philippians 2 and 14, and it says, do all things without murmuring and disputings. 15, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of the Most High, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights of the world. Okay, so to maintain integrity in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, nation that continues to mock and scoff, a nation that continues to ignore the words of the Lord. These people won't ignore for too much longer. First Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Verse 14, if ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. So again, Yahushua is seen as something evil to this world, but to us, he's glorified, he's righteous, we give him praise. You know, as this roughly paraphrasing, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Okay? What's good in this world is considered evil, and what's evil in this world is considered good. That's why we don't care for this place, because we're not with it. Okay, let me get one more. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. This is Sirach chapter 18. Sirach 18 and 14. It says, he hath mercy on them that receive discipline, and that diligently seek after his judgments. Verse 15, my son, blemish not thy good deeds, neither use uncomfortable words when thou givest anything. Okay, so, you know, don't be found with any guile in your mouth. Remember, we are to be found blameless in this society. So you really gotta watch your words, your actions, what you do, and how you just ultimately move. Let's see. And that's about it for I had. I'm gonna drop down to verse 20. It says this. Sirach 18 and 20. Before judgment, examine thyself. In the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. Okay, so as far as afflictions go, you know, even in the midst of afflictions, we have to be found doing the right thing. You know, integrity. It's, you know, it's nothing worth having comes easy. And that's what this truth is, man. It's not an easy walk. Okay, this is a refining process to see who is worthy of wearing that crown. Because Yahushua, he's going to be crowning kings, men who have integrity, honor, humility, overall honesty and righteousness in their heart and in their mind, man. So, even through affliction, we have to keep our integrity. okay? Don't fall off because of affliction. So I hope that this was an edifying lesson. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory facing east to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, HaKodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath Dawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wahab Baba Bal, Shalom, Barakatam.